Welcome to the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals. The BSMA is the longest established motocross organisation in the UK, catering purely for youth motocross riders. Throughout the decades, some of the UK's top motocross riders have progressed through the BSMA ranks. In more recent years, the BSMA started to cater for adult riders, including veteran class riders, and so nowadays riders from the very young stages of 6 can compete alongside riders of over 40. Quite often, fathers and sons will compete together at the same meeting. So welcome to round number 2 here at Roxton in Oxfordshire, and as you can see, conditions on Saturday were atrocious with heavy rain and even some snow in the morning. It all meant that the paddock and the circuit were completely waterlogged, and after some debate, unfortunately the racing was cancelled on Saturday with the track simply unrideable. Sunday, however, was a different story. With fine weather, the track dried out very quickly and was in prime condition for Sunday's racing. So here we go with motor number 3 for the seniors on Sunday. An action-packed class with some various lead changes throughout the day. With the track very rutted in places, a good start, absolutely essential. It looks to me like Dion Thomas, number 59, gets the early lead. And second place, the Honda. Now let's see, I think that's number 93, Zach Watkins in second place. And these early few corners, very important indeed, as you can see from the drone footage here. Some very deep, gnarly ruts and braking bumps in places. And as we'll see in a few moments, for the leaders, of course, they've got a clean track in front of them. But for these guys in the midfield and towards the back of the field, it's all a bit gnarly and some bumping and banging towards the back of the field as they look to establish their early positions. But Dion Thomas was leading the race, but it looks like John McKenzie's taking lead, number 663, as they go out into the valley section. The track really does open up now and gets a lot faster in places. But John McKenzie, number 663, takes the early lead. And now coming down into this really tight, difficult hairpin. Very rutted on the inside. Oh, as McKenzie makes a mistake, stalls the bike, and Dion Thomas goes straight into the back of him. There's a bit of a shuffle there amongst the leaders. And that means that out of nowhere, number 93, Zach Watkins, has taken the lead. So Watkins had some great starts over the weekend. He's been running on the fringes of the top 10. And after another great start, he takes advantage of the mistakes from the leaders there, and all of a sudden has quite a healthy gap of a couple of seconds. He goes back down the valley, hard on the power on that Honda, and 93, there he is once again, Zach Watkins, your early race leader, goes round the wall of death, and over the last few corners now to complete the first lap. Dion Thomas and John McKenzie both got away from that incident. Well, there's Thomas in second, looks like McKenzie in third, so despite that small mistake, it wasn't too costly for either McKenzie or Thomas, as they're both still very much in the reckoning as they go past the finish line for the first time. There's Thomas in second, McKenzie in third, and a whole gaggle of riders amongst the front there. James Bates, Joe Cadwallader, not such a good start for him, but he's coming through the fields. He looks to secure the overall victory this weekend. None of that, of course, bothering Zach Watkins. He goes flying over the tabletop to start his second lap, but all very closely contested at the front. The top 10 only covered by a few seconds, and it looks to me like Dion Thomas, number 59 in second place there, is starting to close up on the race leader. So Zach Watkins, there he is, number 93, still with a bit of work to do, because Dion Thomas really is starting to close up in second place. He's regained his composure after being caught up in that melee on the first lap, and he ran into the back of the early leader, John McKenzie. McKenzie still there amongst the leading group as well. So as they go back into the valley for the second time, we'll see some of the camera angles really do show how steep and off camber some of these corners are. Now Watkins coming back into the corner that caused trouble on the first lap. It's a tight left-hand hairpin and a really gnarly rut on the inside, but Watkins goes through that, as did the rest of the leaders, with no problems whatsoever. And now this huge downhill jump. Press it neatly, and those really gnarly braking bumps there as Watkins continues to lead the way. He knows that second place is not too far behind. Dion Thomas still there in second place and still keeping the pressure on. But Watkins, as we said earlier, he's been on the fringes of the top 10 throughout the week. Well, throughout Sunday's racing, of course. Saturday's racing was abbreviated due to the weather, of course, but in the previous 2 races, he's been there or thereabouts amongst the leading group. He's had some great starts, and now this is his big chance. Maybe he can snatch victory in this final moto. Joe Cadwallader, meanwhile, number 72, making his way through the field, leading the overall scores at the moment for today, and looking to try and grab that overall victory. But he needs to get past a few of these leaders as the lead group go past the finish line once again, and up this huge step-up jump And the tabletop, very fast part of the course. And as you can see, in second place now, number 59, Dion Thomas is starting to close up on the race leader, Zach Watkins. Tries the inside line, but it looks like Watkins has got that line covered. But the leading group now started to bunch up. It looks like Corey Coombs, number 622, also in there as well. Ewan Harris as well, number 791. There was Cadwalder, number 72, going through. But Thomas now really starting to apply the pressure to the leader, Zach Watkins. And Watkins now back into the valley once again. He knows that the leading group of riders are right on his tail and doing all he can just to maintain that lead, run down the laps and try and snatch victory. But Thomas had a look trying down the inside, but not really close enough to get a front wheel in there. Watkins holds on to the lead, and Thomas right on his tail now, and Thomas now really starting to increase the pressure in second place. Watkins charges down the hill, over the braking bumps he goes, and there's Thomas on his tail there in second place, trying the inside line but not close enough to get the front wheel in again. Thomas just sensing, trying to get the opportunity just to snatch the line away from Watkins, but Watkins riding very well at the front, holding his lines well. Into the wall of death they go, rail round the outside there. And the track, despite that really onslaught, really terrible weather yesterday, real onslaught the track had of the snow and rain, looking in great condition, although there are some really gnarly ruts and bumps in places as well. And now Thomas are going past the finish line, really starting to put the pressure on now. Watkins doing all he can to hold on to the lead. It looks like still in third place, John McKenzie, as Thomas goes down the inside and takes the lead. A classic block pass there. Now Watkins tries to fight back over the tabletop, but it looks like Thomas has got the line. Forces Watkins offline slightly there, and that means that Dion Thomas, number 59, gets the race lead. And it looks like all of a sudden in second place, out of nowhere, Ewan Harris has also taken second place. So Harris in second, and poor Zach Watkins, in the space of around 3 corners, has dropped from first to third, and now he's coming under pressure. Looks like could be Corey Coombs or maybe even James Bates in there as well, keeping Watkins under pressure. But now it looks like the lead is going to be a straight fight between these top 2 riders now. Number 59, Dion Thomas, your new race leader. 791 though in second place. There he goes into the left-handed gnarly hairpin there up the hill. That's Ewan Harris in second place, and well, Harris just about a second and a half behind maybe from Thomas, the race leader. Now looks like could be Corey Coombs possibly in third. Thomas has a quick glance over the shoulder to see where the leaders are, and he knows they're not too far behind. But Thomas now looking straight down the track, looking to try and get back on the power on the KTM and pull away from the second place rider, and he's pulled a small gap from Ewan Harris, but Harris is in no mood to give up. Could well be Corey Coombs up to third place. It looks like John McKenzie's gone through to fourth, with Zach Watkins dropping to fifth place. James Bates, Joe Cadwalder also in there as well. And the leaders coming back towards the finish line once again, with Dion Thomas leading the way. Looks like Ewan Harris still in second place. Corey Coombs on the tail in third place, as Watkins goes through there. Number 93 has dropped an awful lot of places in one lap. So the early charge from Watkins looks like it's fizzled out a bit now, because Watkins dropping down the field a bit. Nonetheless, so he's still well placed in the top 10. But in terms of the lead, this is the guy to look out for now, number 59, your new race leader. Oh, as a rider goes down there on the wall of death in a rather precarious position now. I think that might be number 17, Owen Woodhouse. Oh, there's 1 or 2 of the riders there just dodging the rear wheel of the fallen rider by centimetres. And now at the front, looks like we may have had a change of leader, and yes we have, because whilst the fallen rider was down, it looks to me like Ewan Harris has taken lead. There he is, number 791. So Ewan Harris, your new race leader, really pulled it out of the bag there. He's pulled up that small gap, 1.5 seconds on Dion Thomas, has now taken the lead. So Ewan Harris has been on fine form this weekend, trying to snatch their overall victory. But I think Joe Cadwalder, number 72, a little bit further behind at the moment. He's just about done enough at the moment to hold on to the overall victory. But Ewan Harris takes the checkered flag. Dion Thomas in second place, and taking third was Corey Coombs. We spoke to Sam Beresford, our winner of the 125 senior class, after the race. The rider to beat today in the 125 senior class was none other than Sammy Beresford. Took the first overall. And Sammy, did you enjoy it today?
Yeah, it's really good, and I like it.
And you seemed to be getting strong as the race went on, picking your way through the field. And how did you find the track?
It's really tough, and it's rutty and hard, but I just managed to ride around it good.
And it seemed pretty rutty out there. Some of the bumps are pretty gnarly as well. And how are those uphills on the 125?
It's tough.
But you came through it in flying colours, and satisfied with today's work?
It's good.
Good.
I'm happy.
You're certainly happy with today's result. None other than the first overall winner in the 125 seniors, Sammy Beresford. Overall winner in the seniors was none other than this guy here, Joe Cadwallader. And Joe, you seem to really come through the pack quite well, especially in the second and third races. And that second race was a very good win of yours as well. Did you enjoy the track today?
Yeah, the track was really good. I enjoyed it. It was a bit sloppy at the start, but then it got really good.
And Joe didn't quite get the starts compared to some of your rivals, but you certainly made amends to that with some good precise passing and really moved through the field well.
Yeah, I had a couple of good lines, and yeah, it worked for me in a couple of parts, but in the last race I hit my finger, and it went downhill in the last one.
But nonetheless, it was enough to snatch the overall win. Are you pleased with that one?
Yeah, really pleased. Yeah, it was a good weekend.
And so you're looking forward to the next round of Fat Cats. Of course, it's very closely poised in the Senior Championship and hoping perhaps to kick on and have a good result of Fat Cats as well.
Yeah, hopefully. I like that track, so yeah.
We'll certainly look out for him in the next round. Overall winner in the seniors, Joe Cadwallader. You're watching the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals. You're watching the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals. So the gate drops for the autos, and into the first corner they go, our youngest riders of the weekend, of course. As they go around the first corner, it looks to me like that could be number 1, 2, 3, Charlie Hucklebridge with the whole shot, and 80 Zane Stevens in second place. Now, we were saying earlier that the track really rough and gnarly. You can multiply that by about 10 for the autos. They're on the smaller machines, less suspension travel and smaller wheels, of course, and things are going to get a little bit tricky for the autos out there. In some of these ruts, you can see just how deep they are in relation to the riders. The autos, actually, their first race this morning was delayed slightly to allow the track to dry up slightly, get some of the bigger bikes out there as well. And I think that decision was vindicated, really, because the track really has dried out well, and it's in great condition for the autos, although a little bit gnarly in places for them, but I'm sure these top riders, they'll have no issues negotiating this tough Roxton course now. And looks like number 80, Zane Stevens, actually taken the lead from Hucklebridge, who drops to second. So Zane Stevens, your new race leader, looking to try and snatch the overall result, but Danny Webster, Caden Bale, Charlie Hucklebridge also an outside chance as well, with Ben Casey also in there as well. Very, very closely contested today in the autos class. Of course, we lost yesterday's racing due to the weather, but more than made up for it today with some fantastic racing. As one of the front runners takes a tumble there, trying to identify the rider. Could be 178 possibly went down, or 278 Regan Rogers maybe, as 167 goes down as well. Jack Evans on the wall of death section. You see the pickup marshal gets the bike back up. Evans looked a little bit disappointed with himself there, but he's okay and back into the action. In terms of the championship in the auto class, the series leader from round 1 of Brookthorpe, Freddie Bartlett, is absent due to injury. He's playing football of all things and unable to run the red plate. Now that means that Sean Mahoney's a little bit further behind in about 7th or 8th place, fighting through the field at the moment. He'll be looking to try and snatch the opportunity to take the red plate going into the third round at Fat Cats, but at the moment on track, number 80, Zane Stevens continues to lead the way, but Hucklebridge in second, keeping the pressure on. They go past the back marker. 1 or 2 of these back markers struggling with the conditions, but still making their way around the track, which does mean the leaders are coming round already in the third lap of the race now. They are starting to catch up with some of the tail enders, and Stevens leads the way. There he goes, number 80, your race leader. Hucklebridge 1, 2, 3 in second place. Now that looks like Danny Webster now into third place. He's got past Caden Bale as well, as Stevens leads him round, takes the outside line, misses the ruts. Hucklebridge ties it down the middle of the track, as does Webster, using that gnarly rut. And a little bit quicker maybe on that final corner, but Stevens still leads the way, goes up the hill and up towards the tabletop, looking very nice and neat. They've got to get past the back marker. That's number 6 by the looks of things. That's Frankie Pocock, who always has a wobble. And nearly took out Hucklebridge there. So Frankie Pocock with a little bit of a moment in the ruts there, and that could have been disastrous for Hucklebridge, but he kept his composure and got past the slow rider. Now, of course, with the track a little bit rutted and gnarly in places, the rider's racecraft comes to the fore. And look at the suspension there on the leader Zane Stevens' machine, really working overtime over these braking bumps. The rider's standing up as much as possible right into the corners before they sit down. trying to absorb those braking bumps. They go back onto the second half of the course. The autos, of course, they generally run a slightly smaller course. And now looking into second place, it looks like Danny Webster actually has gone through to second. And there he is. So Webster now, yes indeed, is in second place, and now he's starting to put the leader Zane Stevens under pressure coming into the final corner. Webster goes down the inside. Oh, and he snatches the line from the inside. And a great move there from Danny Webster from third to first in one lap. And Danny Webster is your new race leader with Zane Stevens in second. Charlie Hucklebridge, meanwhile, is still shadowing in third position. So Danny Webster leads the way, number 44. And number 80, Zane Stevens in second. They're starting to leave Hucklebridge behind, who's coming under pressure from Caden Bale. But 44, Danny Webster leads them round. There's Stevens in second place, but unable to do anything about the race leader at the moment. 44, Danny Webster's been fighting his way through the field and now really has turned on the pace. Fastest lap of the race for him, 1:55.814. And Danny Webster it was that took the checkered flag from Zane Stevens in second place. And Caden Bale fought his way through into third. So Danny Webster took the overall victory, and we spoke to him after the race. So we have a new winner at round number 2 of the autos, none other than Danny Webster. And Danny, you were in top form today, and did you enjoy the Roxton circuit?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You looked very fast out there as well, and some of those ruts were a bit gnarly, but you seemed to cope with them okay.
Oh, our trainer Lee, I want to thank him because he made me do the ruts and practice them. So yeah.
Scary moment in the final moto where he dropped the bike on the final corner, had to fight back for the win on the last lap. Were you concerned you're going to lose the win?
I tried hard that lap because I didn't want to lose that, so I really wanted to try hard on that lap.
Well, he certainly fought back to take the win, and the overall result, first overall in the autos, Danny Webster. So second overall in the autos was none other than this rider here, number 53, Ben Casey. And Ben, how did you find the track today?
It was awkward, but we found our way around the track.
And it was very close at the front of the autos. Quite a few guys all be racing together to try and get the victory. So are you pleased to come out with second overall?
Yeah, I thought I'd come third because I didn't have a very good last race.
So perhaps a bit of a welcome surprise, you'd say, when you found out you were in second overall.
Yeah.
So going through to the next round at Fat Cats, you're looking forward to maybe get on the top step next time?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Dirt Pro for doing my bike and Jace Tires for helping.
So the gate drops for the juniors. Off they go into the first corner. Very, very close indeed into that first corner. Who's going to get the whole shot? Looks like Lewis Roden's well placed, but round the outside goes number 224. That's the machine of Ollie Howell. Has a look down the inside, but wasn't close enough because Lewis Roden takes the lead. It looks like it could well be Tyler Smith in second place. Ellis Poole, I think, as well. And a 1:16 is a good start as well. But 800, Lewis Roden, your early leader. Looks like Ollie Howell might have gone missing if he went down, or possibly a little bit further down the field. But nonetheless, Lewis Roden, your early race leader, the 65, is running the full Roxton circuit. And as the day goes on, the track looking in great condition for them. Really has dried out. We saw at the start of the show the quagmire conditions, and I think for most of the 65s it would have been virtually unrideable. Maybe not for some of these top riders though, because they're of course very skilled indeed, but perhaps it was a bit more wise to hold the race until Sunday, because the track now really is looking in great condition as Lewis Roden goes round the outside of the wall of death, back down the valley, up towards the finish line for the first time. And Lewis Roden looking to try and snatch the overall from Tyler Smith. It all hangs on this race, so it looks to me like Ellis Poole could well be in second place. So it's Poole in second, there's Tyler Smith in third. Stephen Hope also well placed amongst the front runners there. Some of the other riders in there, George Goodfellow, Adam Thomas. Good start for the WEM rider, Jack Viner as well. He's in the top 10 as well, as leaders go through for the first time and back through to their second lap. As Lewis Roden leads the way, Ellis Poole still there in second place, Tyler Smith in third, heading back down towards the valley section. Once again, you can see just how gnarly these ruts are for these smaller riders. There's some difficulty for some of the autos, and of course the 65 still very small machines, slightly more suspension travel, but still with a small wheelbase, so nonetheless it's still a challenge for some of these 65 riders. But no problems whatsoever for Lewis Roden as he starts to pull away from Ellis Poole in second place. And here he comes round the wall of death, rails it round the outside. Lewis Roden looking to try and snatch the overall win from Tyler Smith. Smith's second place will do it for him though. So he really needs to get past Ellis Poole in second place as Roden pulls away. Let's see who's in second place. It looks like Tyler Smith has gone through into second place, which would give him the overall. And Ellis Poole, 116, goes down to third place. So Lewis Roden leads the way. There's Smith in second, Poole in third. And it looks to me like George Goodfellow, there he is, number 117, is up to fourth place and is starting to put the pressure on Ellis Poole in third. So Lewis Roden leads the way, maintaining that gap from the second place rider, flying over the tabletop there. Tyler Smith in second, there's Poole in third, and Goodfellow on the charge in fourth place, and looks like George Goodfellow really could be the rider to watch. Making his way through the field's fastest lap there, 2:21.918, and George Goodfellow, the third place rider, really is on the charge. There he is in third, really starting to close up now on Ellis Poole, who's still there in third place. So the fourth place rider there, George Goodfellow, is closing up on third. Oh, it was a small mistake there from Lewis Roden. He still leads the way. That could have been costly had the bike high-sided him, but he kept his cool and maintains that gap. He has a quick glance over to see where Tyler Smith is, and Smith starting to close up. He's done enough at the moment to secure the overall victory, but I'm sure he would love to go out with a win in this final moto. But the race leader, Lewis Roden, will have other ideas. He rails the berm round the outside. As with the auto riders, 65 start a little bit later in the morning to try and allow the track to dry out some more. And again, the track for the 65 is looking in great condition as Tyler Smith starts to close up, but Lewis Roden looks like he's going to hold on for victory. So it was a race win for Lewis Roden with Tyler Smith in second place. George Goodfellow took third. The overall win went to Tyler Smith. We caught up with him after the race. Our overall winner in the 65 juniors was none other than Tyler Smith. Now, Tyler, it was very close with you and Lewis Roden, so are you pleased just to nip in there and get the first overall?
Yeah.
And you had some very good race results in the first two races, very quick indeed. And did you enjoy the track?
Yeah, it was good. Sloppy at the start, and like taking my front wheel. And I was going into a rut, taking me to a different one, but after the first race, and track got better.
And it, considering, of course, we had some snow yesterday, it really did seem to dry out quite quickly. And how did you find the track changing throughout the day?
Good. At least it wasn't sloppy all day.
So it certainly suited him better. Our overall winner in the 65cc class, Tyler Smith. So here is second overall, none other than Lewis Roden, who had a good result today. And Lewis, are you pleased with the second overall?
Well, yeah, but I'd rather get second, but I'm happy with first, but I'm happy with second.
So he was a bit disappointed to lose out on first overall, but it certainly wasn't for lack of effort because you were there or thereabouts all weekend. It was very closely poised. And how did you find the track today?
It was getting rougher, but I could get around it, so I didn't really mind.
Of course, the 65cc bike's a little bit smaller as well. Does it cause much trouble, those big ruts?
Nah, because if you hit them fast enough, then you'll get through them. It's like, it doesn't matter with the deep ruts.
Well, there's some very wise words there from the guy who finished second overall, Lewis Roden, in the 65 juniors. You're watching the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals. You're watching the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals. Welcome back to the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals, and we're away now with the small wheel 85s. Into the first corner they go. Really tricky uphill start. One or two riders left on the line there as they struggle up the hill, but the rest of the pack get through the first corner safely. And let's see who it is that grabs the lead. One rider charging down the inside. That's number 99, Harrison McCann, that takes the lead. Looks like Ben Watkins in second, and number 4, Matt Tolley, currently in third place. And we'll see from the aerial footage just how tough this circuit is towards the final moto, with the ruts really coming into play as Harrison McCann charges away. Watkins in second, Tolley in third, and then the rest of the pack streaming through there. Look like Billy Duke, Charlie Griffiths, Jordan Gould in there as well. And then the midfield riders making their way through, and really is a bit of a log jam in the midfield as they battle for position in these opening few corners. But already the leaders are charging away and making their way through to the valley for the first time. And it's Harrison McCann, number 99, that leads the way. Ben Watkins in second. Watkins is about a second half behind. They go down the hill into this really tough left-hand off-cambered hairpin corner. Some gnarly ruts on the inside there. And Ben Watkins makes a small mistake. That means that Harrison McCann pulls away, jumps down the valley once again. And Harrison McCann up on the pegs, nice and neatly there, making the bike do all the work. and sits down at the last moment into the corner. Textbook motocross style there from Harrison McCann, the race leader. And that mistake from Watkins means that McCann's starting to pull away a bit now. He dropped points to his rivals in the first moto and really does need this race win to stand any chance of the overall victory. Watkins still in second place, and second place actually would be good enough for him if he just stay where he is. So the onus now really is on McCann there, number 99, to just charge away and grab this final moto victory and just hope that Watkins drops points. But Watkins, there he is in second place, knows that second place is good enough for him. And as you can see for the leaders, a nice clean track in front of them as they go past the finish line for the first time. Some of our midfield runners starting to make their way through on the fringe of the top 10. There they go, and all very, very close indeed in the midfield. But there, McCann, number 99, charges over the tabletops. There he goes, flying over the second jump. That huge, fast tabletop there, causing no problems whatsoever for the leading riders. So McCann, number 99, as you can see just on the footage there, clean track in front of him. Not so much for these riders coming through now, some of our midfield runners, and really is a real battle in the midfield as they jostle position in these opening laps. But McCann, number 99, still leading the way. There he is once again, looking nice and smooth, looking to round the day off with a victory, and pulling away all the time from Ben Watkins in second place. Was Matt Tolley in third, but look out for Billy Duke. I think he's moving his way through the field. He's got past Charlie Griffiths and starting to put Tolley under some pressure a little bit further behind in third place. At 99, there he is once again, your race leader. Harrison McCann goes back into the valley, and as you can see from the footage, all on his own at the moment. He's got a clean track in front of him and under no real pressure from the chasing riders at the moment. It's all down to McCann, the race leader. No real incidents on the first lap, which means I haven't got many stragglers, and the back markers will not come into play until later on in the race, which is good news for this rider. Harrison McCann, as he rails the wall of death, round the outside he goes, back on the power, and jumps back into the valley once again, comes round to complete another lap, and unchallenged at the front. He knows that he's all alone at the front. It's all down to him. He can run his own race at the front. There's Watkins in second place, and it was a runaway victory in that final motor then for Harrison McCann, who took the checkered flag. Second place, and the overall victory went to Ben Watkins, with Billy Duke fighting his way through into third position. We caught up with Ben Watkins after the race. So here you have our overall winner in the small 85cc class, Ben Watkins. Ben, you had some great starts today, and you certainly put that to your advantage.
Yeah, the track was good today. The starts were nice as well, so it's good.
So, of course, with the starts, you're able to control the race from the front. When you're out at the front, did you find it easy to get into rhythm and find the right lines?
Yeah, but Harrison McCann was right behind me, so.
And the small 85cc class was very closely fought today, so are you pleased to come out with the overall win?
Yeah, but Bill was right behind me. But you lost, didn't you, Bill?
Of course, there's always the next round at Fat Cat as well as this. You hoping to get on the top step there as well?
Yeah.
They had a great ride today. First overall in the 85s, Ben Watkins. So the gate drops for the big wheel 85s, charging into the first corner. Very tight into that first corner. Let's see who gets a whole shot. Callum Beacon, number 211, looks like gets the lead, or it could well be James Hanscom, also well placed as well. No, it certainly is number 211, Callum Beacon. Oh, he had a wobble in the ruts there, but recovers well. They go into this dual right-hander. We've got the tight inside line, a lot shorter, but not as fast as the outside line. And Callum Beacon, the race leader, gets the momentum around the outside and holds on to the lead. He really is the rider to beat in this big wheel 85cc class. He's had a great weekend so far, and looking to secure the overall victory with a win in this final moto as the rest of the field charge through. The midfield runners battling for position through those ruts. The leader's already going through into the valley for the first time, into that gnarly left-hand corner we saw earlier. It's claimed a few riders this weekend. Those deep ruts, they can very easily hit neutral. Or there's one rider in second place there. Might be James Hanscom possibly, or possibly the front runners, Aaron Hall, Callum Watson possibly. One of the riders hit neutral or seemed to lose momentum in that rut, but no problems at all for Callum Beacon, number 211, your race leader. Glances over the shoulder to see where his rivals are, and the answer is they are very far behind at the moment. He's all on his own at the front already in these early stages. He has pulled out quite a gap, and there he is, number 211. Callum Beacon certainly is the rider to beat. He comes round to complete his first lap and looking to take early control in the championship in this big wheel 85cc class. Had a great start, and as you can see, nobody else around him at the moment, all on his own as he completes the first lap, rails the berm around the outside over the jump, And back down the valley, there's the chasing pack just coming around the final corner now. But Beacon all on his own at the front. It looks like Billy Jones having a great ride on the 154 stroke. He's up at the front runners as well with Aaron Hall, James Hanscom, and Callum Watson also in there as well. But nobody at all can match Callum Beacon, the race leader, as the chasing pack go through. There we saw there number 7, Billy Jones, just behind James Hanscom. And then the rest of the leading pack go through just on the fringes of the top 10. And as we can see, though, Callum Beacon into that really tricky left-hander once again. No problems at all for him, though, as he goes through the berm and back towards the downhill jump. Press the berm back on the power and leaps down the hill once again up on the pegs, making the bike do all the work. And Callum Beacon making it look nice and easy at the front as he looks to secure the overall victory with a win in this final moto. Goes round the right-hand hairpin there, back down the valley. One of the fastest parts of the course there, straight back on the power. Oh, he just caught the rut there momentarily, caught his foot there on the rut, but saved the bike and averted disaster there. That would have been a big spill. He'd have lost his balance on that rut, but no problems at all for Beacon. And as you can see once again, good clear gap between him and the chasing pack, who are just going through the bottom of the screen there. And Beacon completes another lap, still charging away at the front. Fastest lap of the race, 2:01.520 for Beacon. And there's the chasing pack. It looks like James Hanscom's battling for second place with Billy Jones, Aaron Hall, Callum Watson, and number 88 Bryn Brooks not too far behind as well, with Thomas Caspian, Ben Davis, Finley Smith and Matt Lloyd rounding out the top 10. But at the front, it's all about Callum Beacon there. That looked like Hanscom, I think, has gone through into second place. There's Billy Jones just behind there. Aaron Hall, it looked like there, or Callum Watson, one of the two riders there up amongst the front runners, as Beacon goes flying past the camera, all on his own at the front. That battle behind there for second place is of no interest at all to Callum Beacon as he controls his race at the front. And there's second place, which looks like it's James Hanscom's gone through into second place from Billy Jones and Aaron Hall. But Beacon there, number 211, still leading the way. He's got a clean track in front of him and looking to close down on the checkered flag as he rails the berm around the outside on the wall of death. Beacon all on his own at the front, but this is motocross, of course, and anything can happen, so Beacon still needs to keep his composure, not make a mistake. There's plenty of places on this Roxton circuit that could catch out the unwary, so Beacon, he certainly can't afford to take things for granted, but he's doing a great job so far as he leads the way and completes another lap, controlling the race at the front. James Hanscom and Billy Jones still having that scrap for second place behind him as Beacon flies over the tabletop as he starts another lap. Starting to close up on one or two of the tail enders, but he's got a nice gap. It's well over 10 seconds now as there's James Hanscom in second place. And Hanscom now starting to control that battle for second. There's the 154 stroke, the mighty roar of the 4-stroke of Billy Jones. And this class, I should say, the Big Wheel 85 is mostly consisting of the 85cc 2-strokes, but there are still one or two of the 150s out there as well, the 4-stroke brigade on the Hondas. And Billy Jones having a great ride so far in third place. He does battle with James Hanscom for second place as Callum Beacon starts to close up on some of those tail enders. But he really has cleared away with things at the moment as we go into the closing stages of the race. And there he goes past the finish line to complete the lap, and Beacon now all on his own at the front. We just saw James Hanscom there just at the top of the screen heading up to the final corner to complete his lap, but he has no answer at all for this guy at the front. Callum Beacon stars it over the tabletop and starts to pick off some of the tail enders, but he can take his time. He doesn't need to rush or make a mistake. And as he comes through to complete the lap, Callum Beacon closing in on victory now. It's going to be a great weekend for him as he completes the final lap, and it's a race win for Callum Beacon. James Hanscom held on to the second place, with Billy Jones bringing the 154 stroke home in third, and we spoke to Callum Beacon after the race. First overall in the Big Wheel 85cc class was Callum Beacon. Now, Callum, you were really on top form today.
Yeah, really enjoyed the track. It was nice, felt good on the bike, and fitness is good.
And you had the pressure early on from James Hanscom, but you seemed to come through that and really control the race from the front.
Yeah, he pushed me a little bit in the first one. He had a good start. I passed him pretty early on, and then made a mistake and he passed me. And then I passed him towards the end and then held it.
And of course, as the day went on, it got more and more rough, and you seemed to cope with that quite well.
Yeah, as the day went on, I think second race didn't go too well for him. He made a couple of mistakes, and I pulled quite a good gap on second place. And third race just demanded it, I think.
So he certainly was in top form today. Overall winner in the Big Wheel 85's Callum Beacon. You're watching the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals. You're watching the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals. Welcome back to the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals, and we start with the first of our adult classes, and the vets and novice class go charging into the first corner. It's been very closely contested all weekend, and the two leaders of the novice and the vet class respectively there, Mantis Balkunis of the orange KTM and Simon Bracey on the white Husqvarna, leading the way. In Balkunis, the novice leader so far, looking in great form as he gets the early lead. He's had some great starts today, and Mantis Balkunis leads the way with Simon Bracey in second. So there goes Balkunis, Bracey in second, and that looks to me like it could well be Di Jones in third. And Jones, he's certainly had the speed this weekend, arguably the fastest rider. Had some bad luck in the first moto when he went down and made a small mistake at the end of the second lap, and it took him an absolute age to get started again and lost virtually a lap. But Di Jones is certainly a rider not to be discounted in this final race. But Mantis Balkunis leads the way. Down the hill he goes for the first time. Leader of the Novice Championship, of course, and he's had a great start to the season. He was really the rider to beat at Brookthorpe at the first round, and now here at Roxton looking to charge away in the novice class. And that in second place looks like it could be either John Gauntlet, perhaps Jack Smith in there as well. Simon Bracey drops to third place as Mantis Balkunis leads the way to complete the first lap. But this vets and novice class still very, very closely contested at the front. The riders racing together, but they are scored separately in the championships, in their respective vet and novice championships. Balkunis leads them up towards the final corner for the first time, completing the first lap in the lead. Battle his way through to grab the lead, and that looks like it could be John Gauntlet in second place. Simon Bracey still there in third, and then the rest of the field charging through. Looks like Di Jones in fourth, Jack Smith, Colin Yee, Neil Davis, Sam Browning also well placed as well. But Balkunis leads them over the series of tabletops there. The leading pack in the vet and novice race goes through, and it looks like Di Jones actually has got past Simon Bracey, and oh no, he hasn't. He's gone through. Bracey's now back through into second place, so a bit of a shuffle at the front of this vets and novice race. None of this, of course, concerning Balkunis, who's still leading the way. Got a clean track in front of him, but Bracey now started to close up in second place. Balkunis, though, still with a clean track in front of him. Bracey tries the outside line on the wall of death, but not quite close enough to put Balkunis under some serious pressure at the moment. But Bracey starting to just chip away at that gap. It's just ever so slightly coming down. He was in third place on the previous lap, now through to second, of course. And as you can see, he really is starting to close up on the race leader, Balkunis. There's Bracey, number 452, in second place, and there, number 544, John Gauntlet, still in third place, and still very much in the reckoning, you would say, amongst the leading group as Balkunis goes through. Bracey in second, and Bracey can't afford to relax because John Gauntlet, number 544, is right on his tail in third place. There goes Balkunis starting to close up on some of the tail enders. Bracey in second and still in third place. Gauntlet in third. Well, there's number 155, who's currently at the back of the field. That's Kevin Brotherton. It didn't get the best of starts and is starting to be swamped by the leading group. There's Di Jones in fourth, rider number 6. So he had a bad start to the day, of course, when he fell in the first moto, but certainly a rider not to be discounted. But Balkunis leads away. Now it looks like Gauntlet's gone through to second place. Bracey's dropped to fourth. There he goes, number 452. And out of nowhere, Di Jones through into third place as Mantis Balkunis goes past number 7 there. That's Paul Minahane on the Brand 7X BRP Imports Honda and the producer of the show. But he's a lap down at the moment as the last lap flag goes out, and it's all very close at the front because the top 4 are all bunched together, less than a second covering the top 4. There's Balkunis leading the way, but Di Jones goes down the inside, and Di Jones on the final lap goes through into the lead. And out of nowhere, Di Jones, the rider who was one to watch today, really has charged way through. One of the back markers going down there, and will the leaders all get through safely? Yes, they do. They all see the lead rider. One of the back markers, though, didn't look far down the track and gets caught behind the back marker, but none of this will bother the leaders as Di Jones closes up to the final corner and takes the checkered flag. So there's a win in the final moto for Di Jones, with John Gauntlet in second place and Simon Bracey in third.
Well, Di, we can definitely tell you've brought your friends here, and they're obviously very pleased for you. Talk us through your motors today.
All three of the motors went well. I enjoyed the track. I'm surprised how well the track turned out after yesterday with all the snow and everything. So, yeah, they turned out well. So, just really pleased. So,
And looking ahead to next time out, are you going to be there?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I was got a wild card entry for this round, so hopefully I'll be able to get an entry for next round now. So,
lucky for you, it all turned out well, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk us through your motor today. Congratulations.
Well, it was all good. I whole shot the full races, and in overall came in second, but won in my class, and happy with it.
So are you generally quite a whole shot king?
No, don't think so.
Lucky here today.
Just lucky enough. Yeah.
This track is so good. It looks amazing to ride.
Well, it was one of the toughest tracks I ever rode in the UK, and well, I love it. You know, looking forward to coming here next week. Well, next year.
So away we go with our final moto. The AMX and Open class go charging into the first corner, and it's been very close contested all day in this class. Looking like grabbing the whole shot though is the fast starting machine number 52, Chris Grindle. He's had some great starts so far today, and once again gets out the gate very quickly on the 450 KTM. So Chris Grindle with the early advantage. Looks like it could well be number 210, Lee Truman in second place. Harry Linton also well placed as well, with Andy Fitzgerald, Darren Webster also in there as well. And one rider to look out for, Zach as one of the midfield runners goes down and collects a few riders with him there. We were just saying one rider to look out for as well. Zach Steely had a bad start in the first moto and struggling against the 450s on that uphill climb at the uphill start, but Steely fought his way through in the second moto and could be a rider to watch in this final race. And those riders in the midfield scrum there, they were all okay. A bit of grading going on here on the tricky left-hander, nicely graded, but of course very difficult to manoeuvre because it is off camber and the rider's struggling just to try and get the lines in these opening laps. But Chris Grindle there, 52, leading the way down in the valley, and it looks like in second place it's number 210, Lee Truman, still in second place. So Truman in second, and Truman keeping the pressure on in second place. There he is, number 210, and in third that could well be Steely in third, number 171. Let's wait and see as they come back towards the wall of death. So Grindle leads, Truman second, and Steely just on his tail there in third place. And the top three very closely contested as Steely has a look down the inside of Truman, tries to go through for that second place. Does he make the pass stick as they go into the final corner? And the answer to that one is yes, as Zach Steely goes through to second place. Truman drops to third. There's number 22 just on their tail. Andy Fitzgerald running the red plate in the Open 450 class, and the AMX class, of course, for the 250F machines. The rider to watch has been Harry Linton, but Lee Truman, number 210, having a great weekend so far and looking to try and snatch the overall in the AMX class, but all very close indeed. These, of course, are fastest adult riders, and we saw some great styling over the tabletop there in this final moto. At the front, though, Chris Grindle leads the way, but you can see Zach Steely in second place, just shadowing in second place. So Steely, a wild card this weekend, leads the AMX class, but looking to try and grab the race victory as well. There's Fitzgerald in fourth with number 80 on his tail there. That's the machine of Darren Webster, who's running very well in the top 10, one of our front runners, of course, in the championship. There's Grindle, though, number 52, going back into the valley once again, pulling a small gap from Steely in second, and still shadowing in third place is Lee Truman. Truman trying to keep the pressure on Steely as they go into this freshly graded corner. You can see the lines already starting to develop after the first couple of laps as Grindle gets back on the power on that mighty KTM 4-stroke. Back down the hill he goes, and Steely trying to keep up with him. Perhaps the 450 might have a small advantage on these more open parts of the course against the 250 4-stroke Yamaha, but Steely nonetheless is starting to close up on Grindle. Grindle a little bit messy on the corner, that allows Steely to close up, but again Grindle back on the power going up towards the wall of death and starts to pull away from Steely. There's Steely in second place, number 171. Those two starting to leave behind Truman slightly in third, and it looks like it could well be Harry Linton moving up to fourth place. Let's wait and see as they come back towards us. There's Truman in third. Well, no, it was Andy Fitzgerald actually still in fourth place, number 22. So Andy Fitzgerald, who leads the Open Championship and looking very strong indeed at the front of the pack. The top three, though, starting to break away. It's Grindle that leads, and there he is once again, number 52, your race leader. Zach Steely, number 171 in second place, and there's Steely just on the tail there, with Lee Truman not too far behind in third. And the spectators turning out to watch this battle between the fastest adult riders of the weekend, of course, and our expert machines expert riders I should say, really doing battle at the front as Steely starts to put the pressure on, and Steely goes down the inside of Grindle and snatches the lead. A brave move there down the inside from Steely, but he made it stick, and Grindle drops to second place now. Chris Grindle immediately starts to fight back as they go into the final corner, but Grindle not close enough to try and repass there, and Steely starts to pull away past the finish line. Fitzgerald there, number 22, still in 4th place. There's Harry Linton in 5th with Darren Webster just on his tail in 6th place. And Steely now starting to pull away as he makes his way back towards the finish line. And there he goes, round the outside on that really fast wall of death section. And Steely, number 171 on the Geartech Yamaha, now really starting to control the race at the front and pulling the gap. Let's see, Grindle still in 2nd place. Yes, indeed he is. He's coming into pressure now from Lee Truman in 3rd. But taking the checkered flag, it was Zach Steely with the win. 2nd place was Harry Linton with Lee Truman coming in 3rd. Andy Fitzgerald took the overall win in the open class, and we caught up with him after the race.
Well, Andrew, congratulations, winner overall here today. Talk us through your motos.
Oh, well, it was quite mad between us all. We all had a 3rd, 2nd and a 1st, so it was real close racing. I didn't get the best of starts in any of them, but I managed to come through then after some good battles with people, and it worked out well for me.
How was your class? I mean, how difficult was it to come through?
It was very difficult. Everyone's at such a high level in there that we're all going pretty much the same speed, so it was very difficult.
But the track conditions out there today look really, really great.
Yeah, the track's been outstanding with how well it's dried from yesterday especially. It's been perfect all day, really.
Well, congratulations. We look forward to seeing more from you this coming season.
Thank you very much.
You've been watching the Bridgestone BSMA Nationals. Join us next time as we move to the fearsome sand track at Fat Cats in South Yorkshire for round number 3.